I've just had some new wardrobe doors fitted and I want to do some automatic lighting. So when you open the doors, the lights come on, and when you close them, they go off. I'll run through a couple of the options that I came up with. Firstly is I made this little jig up. All it is a PIR sensor, an LED light. I'll put that in now and I'll show you what it looks like with the room dark, and then we'll go to the other option. Now there's a couple of negatives with this option, which I'll go into now. It's like when you close the doors, the light will stay on because it's on a timer. So depending on what time you've got it set at, depends on how long it stays on for. The other downside to having this one is if I go into another wardrobe, it'll pick me up on the sensor and switch this side of the wardrobes on, where I want every wardrobe to have its own little system. I don't want to be setting off. The only way you can get around that is if you get the sensor and you either like paint an area around it so it only has a field of view in front of it, so it can only set off when you open your wardrobe. But yeah, there is another option which I'll show you now. So the other option for lighting up the wardrobe is using the LED tape. I just put a couple of clamps on the inside of the wardrobe and laid the LED tape over just to give me an idea of what it would look like. I'll show you what that light looks like now. I'll close the blinds and we'll test it out. So that for me is a much better uniform light in the wardrobe compared to the LED downlight. So I do prefer this option. The way to control it is off a cabinet switch. So it's just a proximity. So if the door closes towards it, it'll switch it off, and when the door opens, it'll close it on. I mean, it'll put the light on. I'll show you. So if the door's shut, it goes off, it goes open, it comes on. This means that as soon as you close the door, the lights will go off, whereas with the sensor, it's on a timer, so it just totally depends on how long you set that timer for. So definitely go with this option, even though it's the more expensive option. I mean, the PIR sensor and the downlight is about £22 per wardrobe. Across all four, it comes to about £88 to do all the lighting. For this option with the sensor, the LED tape, the power supply, and the aluminium profile to go up and around to hold the LED tape in place, it's about £64 per section. So it's about £238 for all four, which is quite a big jump from £88 to £238. But I think in the long run, it's worthwhile me doing it like this, because it'll just annoy me with the lights staying on when you close the door and stuff, especially in the dark, like even in the winter months and stuff. So yeah, this is the option that I'm going to go for. So I'm going to run a supply and a single socket above each wardrobe for the power supply to go into, and then we'll mount the sensor. This silver sensor, we'll mount it here to pick up the door opening and closing, and then we'll run the tape up and around in an aluminium profile, which we'll screw on, and that should be it. Job done. All right, let's get cracking. So I'll run my cable up here, up that beam to this light, and I'll just tap off that supply, which I'll take to a fuse spur inside the wardrobe down there. So you got your live cables coming in, so you got your live supply and your neutral supply with your earth, and then going out to the sockets for your load. You got your live load, your neutral load, and obviously the earth's connected together, and that should be it. And then you can power the circuit on and isolate the circuit as well. I'm going to put in this LED profile in. It took me a while, but I found a white one. I didn't want the aluminium like silver profile because I wanted to blend in with the wardrobe carcass. So I'm just going to be putting it on the inside of the wardrobe. You can't see it. The only issue is it doesn't come with any holes in it, so we're going to have to drill these. I'll probably put 4 holes per run, but yeah, it's just to stay long enough to do each side. I might have to put a tiny little section at the bottom, and then we'll run a piece across the top down the other side. So we'll get those drilled and prepped, and we'll get them installed. Right, so we've marked our profile up. We're going to be using these self-tapping screws. I've chosen them just because we've got like a flat head for the LED tape to lay over the top of. I'm going to use a 5mm drill bit to drill the profile out. I'm going to drill it over my bin just to catch all the shavings. that's all the LED channel or profile in. My issue that I have now is I want to fit this LED tape, but because my power supply is up at the top, all hidden out the way, my sensor will be mounted here. That is then the plug or supply to my LED tape, and because the plug is at the end, which is where I want to be starting my run of tape up and over, I'm going to have to move this connection further down the tape, so I'll have to desolder that, and I've marked up on my tape the middle point, which will be sat up here. So I'll solder that bit onto there, just so it's all tucked up neat and out the way. So we'll have a go at getting that done. Right, so that's the connection moved into the middle of the LED tape. I'll put some power to it now just to show that it's working. As you can see, it's lighting up both sides of the LED tape, so yeah, we're good. So now I can put that in my wardrobe. Right, so that's the tape installed, the sensor as well. So that's it on. It goes off. Some of you might realise, like, I've put the sensor to one side. I've done that for a reason. So, like, in the darker, like winter months, say if I'm getting up early and the wife's still in bed, I can open this, get out something that I need without turning the lights on. It's only if I open that door that the sensor comes on. Now, you can get sensors that got dual sensors, so they'll pick up both doors, but I didn't want that for that reason that I've just stated. But I'll shut the blinds, I'll show you what it looks like in the dark. So yeah, happy with that. Now all I need to do is do the other three and that'll be them all done. All right, happy days.